July 13th, 1921, by a little country school, district number 3. And then I went to Lakewood High. I graduated from Lakewood High in 1939. You know, through the Depression, there was farm people that had migrants, you know, they employed them. I worked for 3 years,
oh, wow,
different times with migrants. I learned to appreciate people that had nothing. They had nothing. And a lot of them couldn't take it, you know. The country wasn't good to them.
yeah.
Yep. They had all these things happen to them, and we didn't, and there was no way out, you know.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
I knew when it happened, yeah.
Did you feel like it's going to impact you a little bit?
I didn't know. I didn't want to go in the service. I had to be drafted.
Okay.
I hated to go because I had just married a beautiful gal, Esther Ruth Earl.
Right.
I just got married and then had to be zipped into the Army.
Where did you go for boot camp?
Camp Gordon, 6 weeks. 6 weeks of training, all they gave them. I got sent to Camp Shanks.
Okay.
That was a deportation. France, but our boat hit a shipping boat.
Oh gosh.
And we had to return to New York. We hit this shipping boat, sank it, and fishermen all were drowned.
What was the name of your ship? Do you remember?
I don't know.
So did you remember the actual collision?
Yep.
What was that like?
It jarred the ship. And then we went back to New York, and I had never seen New York, you know. So I got leave right away to see the city. And here's what happened. I was looking around the city, and some Jewish people come and picked me up, said, "You want to see the city?" They took me all around New York City.
No kidding.
Broadway shows, their clubs, and everything.
Wow.
Before our ship got repaired and went over to France. Seen mines. I know there was mines because you could see them. Some of them that lost their moorings, you know. So I suppose we had to watch for mines.
Replacement, weren't you?
Yep.
And
for Patton.
Okay.
He lost quite a few men. We were going to Paris,
Ah.
but they wouldn't let us stop. I seen the Eiffel Tower, and I said, "Oh boy, we're going to Paris, and maybe we'll have a little good time." But that didn't happen. It was just hello, goodbye. We went right through the middle of Paris. I was in the back of a truck. I'm a PFC.
And do you remember what division you were part of? Do you remember?
Well, I was part of Cannon Company. I was in this railroad station, somewhere around Fulda. I was alone guarding, and the other soldier was in the station house. And this train come through with a sniper, and it had to be a machine gun because there were several shots. Our company, our sergeant, he heard these. They must have heard these shots, and he come back with a group of soldiers to see what happened. And he just noted that I was all right, so that's all there was to it.
So the train is going through the station, and
they shot.
shot at you.
Yep,
Well, thank God they missed.
but I was low, and I heard them snap as they went through.
My gosh.
And then they never had a chance to make another shot afterwards, because there was another train that come right at the same time. I don't know how that happened, but that train come between us. I picked up my own release from the service at Frankfurt. I sneaked in the envelope in the mail and seen that I was released from service. But then, we had to be sent back to the States and get our discharge. I don't remember the ship. I don't remember nothing about. All I remember at that time, there was gambling. Everyone was gambling
On the ship.
and celebrating. In Birch's Gardens was some of the most beautiful women in the world, And he was probably right, because there were some beauties there. In Birch's Gardens was some of the most beautiful women in the world, And he was probably right, because there were some beauties there.
You guys fraternize at all with the women in there?
I fraternized, and it was dangerous, but I didn't know any better.
Why was it dangerous?
Just you didn't know what was going on.
With the German women?
I had a revolver and a knife. I know I used to carry.
Yep.
So that if I was attacked or something, I had something to offset it. I didn't care for some of our Well, I knew and lived with some of them that had the Silver Star, all kinds of medals, some of these guys. One of them that had the third highest medal that the country could offer, and he was a killer. Bragged about shooting women and children. I still had remorse for people. I didn't like this idea of killing women and children. And he bragged about it. And had the Silver Star, third highest medal.
Yeah.
To me, was just a bum. I don't go for these medals. I go for the character of the man. I was guard over a lot of SS troops. I found out that they were one of the smartest people that you can get,
So did they speak English?
Hitler wasn't. Oh yeah, they could all speak English.
Yeah.
They could speak English. Almost genius. Well, I was right there when my brother, he was the first responders, and he was on the first ship that went to England. The English people met the shore, the boat on the shore, and one of the Englishmen said, "What are you here for?" One of the soldiers piped up, "We're here to fight your bloody war." They had a fight with the English.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the first boat with American soldiers, they didn't want them there. I seen gas chambers. I seen furnaces. I went through and seen. I seen bones. I seen all the coins from all the nations that they collected there. All the nations, their coins that they confiscated. And I'm thinking, why would the Germans, if they were good people, why would they let this happen? I couldn't figure it out. I still can't figure it out. I still can't figure out the Germans, if they would have been decent people, they would have gotten rid of Hitler long before the Allies. I thought they would have gotten rid of that stuff long before the Allies did. But didn't happen. That's why when they came out with the Marshall Plan, I was still in the service. When they come out with the Marshall Plan, I didn't know if I accepted that or not. Why pick them up when they had caused all that? So it took me a while to accept the Marshall Plan, but I think it was a good plan. His second cousin was my wife's, one of my wife's best friends, and stood up with my wife when we were married.
What was her name?
And Rosamund Howard. They were proud of that, you know. So her mother was first cousin of Jack. And my wife went down to Washington, D.C. to see Robert Jackson before he went to Nuremberg and get a chance to meet Jackson because he had to go get everything ready to go to Nuremberg.
That's great. Well, thank you so much